So we've been going over the 5 principles for achieving success, both in the frame of reference as business, but this has also been a great segment for personal development. And the cool thing is the feedback coming in, because this has been basically a 5-part segment, so all week long, and the feedback and responses I'm getting are so positive, and everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, I love your content," and all this stuff, and they're seeing it on Facebook, and my friends last night were referencing the webinar and stuff like that. So it's great to be hearing all of this positive feedback, especially when it comes down to the personal development side, because this is the bigger picture. And, having money and success and all of that stuff, it's great, but we really, when you put it in this frame of reference and you look at the overall idea of why it is that you're doing what you're doing, it's just amazing. So anyways, let's jump into today's session. But just to recap, to catch you guys up. So the 5 principles that we've been discussing this week. The first thing was talking about getting a very clear goal and really knowing, a lot of people, they want to create a business and I want to create a successful business, but if they're not defining what success means to them, if you plan, if you fail to plan, you fail, basically. So make sure that you have a direction that you're going to and really clearly define that goal in order to achieve it. And make sure that you catch that segment. We break down, the difference between setting a goal and setting an intention, and really working from that frame of reference to be aligned with your intentions, and that's actually how we achieve the goals. So from there, it's awesome to have a good goal and to go through those motions. However, if you don't believe that you can actually achieve that goal, it's pretty pointless. So getting your beliefs up. And when we talked about the segment on beliefs, we went into really in depth on, what the beliefs are, both, looking at positive beliefs and negative beliefs and all of that idea, and then looking at what beliefs you hold for yourself. If your self-image and, the way you see yourself, and you cannot see and visualize yourself as a successful person or where you want to be, or you can't picture yourself obtaining that clear goal that you set out to do, it's an uphill battle that's very hard to win. So you have to get your belief system in there. So that segment also goes into, being aware of your beliefs, and then if you need to change them and modify them, techniques and things to go about and do that. So awesome. So you have a goal, you believe you can achieve it. However, if you are in the wrong environment, you will still get nowhere. So making sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive influence. And, Gil gave me a hard time about my influence picture, which we were all laughing about last night. But the idea, that we have, even like from the time we're children, it's very clear in our mind who the negative influences are, the bad kids, and, you have that visualization of what a negative influence is, and that's what we're on guard for. However, going through and really thinking about the personal development side and achieving your goals and realizing that, people closest to you, your best friends, your relatives, family members, things like that, can actually be negative, bad influences holding you back if they're not aligned and like-minded with where you're going. So you just want to be very careful about the influences. The example I used in that segment was, somebody, let's say, how many times have we gotten upset at a company, and they're a ripoff and they really screwed me, and you get really upset about that, and most of us, okay, you're going to go vent to somebody, right? So that person that you go vent to, are they allowing you, a pity party and, feeding that kind of thing, or are they helping you to move forward and deal with it, or is it positive kind of critiques on that and say, yeah, that company, that doesn't sound fair. Well, is there a way that you could have done something different, or how can you move forward? And that constructive, uplifting support rather than just wallowing and getting angry and, oh, you know what, that company's so bad, we're going to write bad reviews and we can sue them, and, being unconstructive versus constructive, and that's when we're talking about the environment. So you need to make sure that you're surrounded with like-minded people going after that. And then, so those are all great and indicative of success. But the idea, too, is, especially we like the idea of a self-made millionaire. How many times have we heard that? And even, self-made billionaires. But the idea is, there's not really anybody who's self-made as in they locked themselves in a room and didn't talk to anybody else and they had this success. Being able to have mentors and guides, and being careful who you listen to as well, which kind of ties back to environment. But with your mentors, being very aware of the influences and making sure that not only are you, people can claim to be an expert in fields, but really looking at their behavior. Do they actually walk the walk, in addition to talking it? And being aware of, mentors that are teaching, principles versus strategies. Strategies are changing all the time. So whoever your mentors are, that you're listening to specific strategies and techniques doing things, those are the ones to be the most careful about, because you want to make sure that they're doing those strategies right now, because strategies and techniques, especially when we're talking about marketing on the internet and things like that, are changing so rapidly. If you're modeling after a mentor who had great success 5 years ago, that's not going to work for you today. So being very aware of who you're being mentored by. And then we left it, with the kind of the 3 people you need to make sure that you always have in your life when you're, always growing and always working towards success. And the first one, is somebody, that mentor figure, somebody who's older and more experienced and has already accomplished what it is that you're going to go out and accomplish. And, you don't have to have, a mentor that's the person that was with you from day one, all the way on up. Your mentors can change, as you kind of progress and figure out the directions you want to go. You want to be looking for mentors in whichever direction you're following, and looking for that person who already has obtained what it is you're seeking to do. So that's person number 1, is the experienced mentor. The second person that you need when we're talking, about, role modeling and things like that, is just to have somebody that's literally at the place that you're at, that you guys can bounce ideas back and forth. You're like-minded, you're positive, uplifting each other, but that's somebody you want in your life. And then the other thing is you also want to be able to get in the position of being a mentor to someone else. Paving it forward is one aspect of it, but 2, that helps to develop you and help, and it really changes in this part your mentality. And I touched about the abundance mentality, and the idea of helping somebody else also helps you to get out of the picture that, oh my goodness, I could be helping my future competition. Well, that's a lack mentality. And if you're, if you still have this lack belief, in there, that's going to be holding your success back. So making sure and being that mentor and helping somebody else, you don't have to be, a successful, multi-millionaire in the industry to reach back and help somebody. Literally, if you're a few steps forward down the path and you both are on the same path, reach your hand back and give them a boost. And it's okay. You guys are both going in the same direction. And as long as you are aligned and they are aligned, it's great to help other people. And also, the big guru or mentor of mine, Robert Kiyosaki, he definitely says, the best way to learn something is to be able to teach it to somebody else so that they can understand it, which is great, through these webinars. And, we have guests and all that kind of stuff that jump on. And yes, the more you're teaching, the more that it's also helping you, to have a better foundation. So that's all of that with mentors. So we're going to focus today on putting it together and looking at the bigger picture, because success and all of that is awesome. However, defining success and really getting down to why are we doing what we're doing. And so in that regards, it's finding your why. If you picture whatever it is that you're wanting, out of this, my goal that I set in the first one is that I want the new business that I'm starting to bring in $20,000 a month in the month of September. So that's all great and dandy and all that, but why? And I put it in my statement, that feeling that, wow, I can do this and I accomplished this and all of that aspect. You definitely, that's a feeling that drives my why. But the other thing is being able to start creating the life that I want to give to my children and things like that. And, really getting into that part. And we're going to be breaking the rest of this stuff down, but really going through all of these different things that I have there on bullet points and just getting that. And this is what your why is and the bigger picture. And, I don't want to learn online marketing. A lot of people saying it's too much. Well, learning these things can what? They can boost your business. That's awesome. The more money that comes in with your business can translate to what? And that's where we're focusing today, is why are we doing all of this? So finding your why and finding your passion. And that was the coolest part about, my first business that I started, which is doing kids' birthday parties with animals. I was able to combine my passion with a career. And my passion was, I loved animals and I also loved kids. And I was able to combine both of those passions and get paid for it. And that was awesome. And so being able to find what it is you're passionate about. I was talking to a lady last night at a networking event, and she is just so passionate about, higher education for people, for women and girls in other countries, and she's running like a foreign exchange program and things like that to help educate these girls and things that don't get that education in their company or their country, so they can come over here. And she's so passionate. Yes, Skill?
I want to jump in real quick. What country does she have her program in?
She actually works with a bunch. She mentioned Russia. She said a lot of the Muslim countries are the ones that she's working with right now.
I have a couple of friends that run programs out. Hold on, where is it? Claire. She's in Nepal. So if she ever wants to do anything in Nepal, let her know. She runs an excellent program. This girl is just like the biggest advocate for that kind of stuff. So I figured, I don't know, they might want to connect. I'm gonna type in her Facebook.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I'll put them in touch.
As soon as she graduated, she moved from Washington, and she has devoted her entire life to providing education and opportunities for women in Nepal. It's actually pretty awesome. I mean, it's the kind of Facebook profile I'll walk through and I'm like, man, what am I doing with my life? Like, all right, awesome. Like, go ahead.
That's cool. Yeah, it's like, dang, I don't have a cool enough why.
I'll copy paste your link as well here if in case you guys want to connect with us on Facebook. It's free. We just want to hear from you. Lauren doesn't bite, but I do. But copy paste all that stuff. All right, Lauren, go ahead, take it away. Let me get Steve.
Very cool. Yeah, no worries. Awesome. So just really connecting that, and I put a post on Facebook, so go read it. It was very long. But anyways, it was last night. That was really what was it. The networking event I went to, every single person that I talked to was just so excited and passionate about what they were doing. And they weren't just business owners. It was people, one was, a mom, and she moved out here from, the Midwest or something so that her son could act, but she was so passionate about supporting her child. So whatever it is that you are doing and why you have your business, it was so refreshing and wonderful to be around people that were just so excited and just love life and love what they do and really think about what it is. If you had, if you won the lottery 5 times, and it's just money wasn't an issue, where would you spend your time? And that's a really great way to start kind of figuring out what you would do and what your why is, because where's your passion? So if money is not an object, that really frees up your time, and where can you go from there? So that part is really awesome. So make sure that you guys can define that. Okay, so here's another way to look at it. The great analogy I heard, which is walking the plank. So pretty much think about it this way: if somebody put a 2x4 or something on the ground and said, hey, I'll give you $5 to walk across it. Who wouldn't do that, right? So you'd walk across it. Then okay, they're gonna put it up on some cement blocks or something like that. Make it a little harder and say, hey, I'll do it if will you do it for $20? And most people, okay, it's 3-4 feet off the ground, and I would do it for $20, of course. So now you take the same board and you put it between 2 skyscrapers, so you're hundreds of feet above the air, and you offer somebody $100. The level goes down a lot more about who would be willing to actually walk the plank. But then, if you put whatever your why is, if it's your family, if it's whatever it is that you want, and you put them on one side, and, it's on fire and you have to go save them. You know, everyone would walk across that plank for no money. They wouldn't think about the risk and they would just go for it. So really figuring out what is it that you want that will get you to walk across something. You would do it, you know, if it was easy. Most of us, I mean, who wouldn't walk across a board that's sitting on the ground? You know, okay, then raise the stakes a little bit. Take it up a few, you know, feet off the ground, a couple feet. You know, there's maybe a few people that wouldn't do it, you know, if it's 3-4 feet off the ground and you're talking $20 and they're like, yeah, I don't need the 20. You know, but putting it and raising that level to get to a point that, you know, the stakes are so high, how many people are willing for the risk? And that's pretty much entrepreneurship and, you know, being those 2% of people to say, you know what, I will walk across that plank on a skyscraper for free because I want so badly what's on the other side. So really think about that, and you have to find something that you're truly passionate and excited about in order to literally walk across that. And from there, you know, when you put all of this stuff together, and the cool part behind all of it that's just amazing and wonderful in all of this aspect, and I love this picture, is, you know, the side benefit with all of this stuff. The more that you're doing and expressing and, you know, focusing on your why, it's bringing out yourself. And that's been my favorite part of this whole experience. That was completely unexpected. I'm like, ooh, I want financial freedom. Why? Oh, because I want money. I want to do all of this stuff. And I'm like, so that was what I initially set out to do. And this side byproduct has been, oh my goodness, I feel incredible. I feel composed. I feel passionate about. So literally going after what it is that you want and going after your passion, you know, you can't be attaining that without feeling happy and feeling better. And the better and better you feel about yourself, the better kind of a person that you're going to become. And really, it's just expressing yourself. And I cannot overemphasize this as being the number one unexpected benefit of my entire financial freedom journey. That I was thinking last night, you know, it's been almost a year since I set out on this, and it's just been the best ride of my life. And it really is. It all comes down to all of the personal development and just becoming your best self and expressing yourself. And I mean, oh my goodness, please guys, just do this. It's the most incredible point that you can get to. And then from there, you know, as you're becoming successful, and when we talked about mentors, then you get to help other people be successful. And that part is so cool. And that's kind of, you know, the stage that I'm getting into right now, and being able to give back and hold these webinars and help other people get their, you know, their selves going and finding their passion and helping to make sense of it. And it's really rewarding and amazing. And, you know, every time that I'm helping somebody else get their success, one, it takes the focus off of me, but it also helps with that whole lack, you know, mentality, or, you know, the opposite, which is especially us poor and middle class raised children are raised with, you know, we're all raised, I believe, you know, with this lack mentality as far as money and things go, and this is just the way it is. You have to go get a job. You have to do this and this and this, and it's a struggle. It's hard to get money. It's hard to do that. And, you know, every time that I'm helping somebody else, it takes the focus off of me, and it builds that abundance, and I want success for everybody else and their success, and it's awesome. So I'm helping somebody else, and I'm getting this unexpected benefit in return, which is priceless to me. And it's just the value of helping others. You know, you're doing it for a selfless reason, and it just comes pouring right back on you, as far as, you know, good vibes and good all of that stuff. So really being able to teach, and, you know, not being the hand holder and the enabler. And that's, you know, when we're talking a lot of position that you really have to be teaching someone to fish and not fishing for them, although it's very tempting. And that's what, you know, a lot of us are also begging for, and just kind of finding it and realize, you know what, it's a solo internal journey to become the person that you need to become in order to be successful. It really takes a certain person, and all of us can become that person, but so many people are unwilling to go through the process to become a person that can be successful. And just giving that exceptional value and really just giving of yourself, and hey, here's how to do stuff. And if you believe in karma or all of that, whatever you might want to call it, really giving them and trusting your path and others, and just receiving all of the good in return. And that's abundance. It's such a different frame of reference. And for those of you that have seen the previous presentations, I had the one on the idea, when we're looking at mentors, and we kind of, it's like you're standing, on the ground looking up at a skyscraper and just looking at them in awe and disbelief, and you could never get up there. But you're so focused on looking up at them. How often do you look around at where you're at? But then also, once you're climbing up there, the view at the top is so much different. And here, you technically are in the same place. You're in this, you're within a few hundred feet, or half a mile of each other, if you want to talk about the building. However, the person that's on the ground has such a different vantage point than the person who's up at the top and looks around and sees the beauty and abundance in the world, than the person who's just focusing on looking up and, wow, I can never get up there. So just really, giving, and keeping that uplifting thing is just what it's all about. And, the other side of that is just expressing gratitude for everything that comes across. And looking in that and just changing everything about yourself. And something like this, somebody else here, what comes your way, you're just happy for it. So my thing with jealousy is this, I was trying to win this contest sort of a thing, and everyone told me that I would win because I had this, all of this stuff, and I did win. And it was awesome. And so I, was going up to accept it, and then somebody else came up at the last minute, and, they ended up having, better numbers than I did. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. It was, kind of awkward, but dealt with it. Well, then, as I found out later, that person had actually done the contest with her husband, whereas I had done it solo. So immediately, my thoughts are, oh, how unfair. That's not very fair at all. And then the other thing then I found out too is that they had, abundance of money. They were super wealthy. So what they had won, it was a couple $1,000 value. And then that's where my mentality was just like, oh my goodness, I'm so, that's not fair. Here they did it together, so, and I did it by myself, and I would have won if it was by myself. And then the other part was, well, I needed it and they didn't. How dare they? And that's I did work to the whole thing. Okay, well, took a lot of deep breaths, and I was like, well, what can I do to think more positively about the situation? So, I started small, and I just thought, okay, her hair looks nice. So I really, and okay, her clothes and whatever. And then I was like, well, you know what? It's awesome that, she has a spouse that is as go-getter as she is, and that's how they were able to win the contest. Rather than focusing on the fact that, oh, it's not fair because they teamworked, I looked, wow, that's so awesome to have a partner. So that really helped to get the ball rolling, and, looking at that mentality, and what I ended up getting from that experience and shifting the jealousy, I ended up, identifying, wow, this is why good things happen to people like that. They're go-getters, they work together, that's an awesome partnership, those are awesome qualities. And instead of being jealous about it, I'm like, wow, thank you, I'm glad what I would like to have, is that kind of an aspect. And, when it was all said and done, although I, essentially lost a couple $1,000 value of a prize, what I got was this lesson that I'm so much more grateful, because being able to do that, a really intense kind of jealousy correction, for me, which is, I think a lot of us maybe have struggled with jealousy and no, that's not fair, and, unfortunately, that I'm so grateful and you can see than if I had received the value, of that course that I had lost. So just looking for and expressing gratitude and looking for the places you can find gratitude because it's there. Even the most unlikely or contest, how can I be grateful about that? Surprisingly, very, very, very grateful I lost that contest to go through that. For what you see, but negative, get to that and those challenges too because they help you grow in a different way and just looking and being grateful for everything that comes around. Another example of someone that I'm listening to right now, and he was sharing the idea of, okay, you set out and you want to have this fantastic, wonderful day, and you're like, everything in this is going to be the best day ever, and that's, the mentality you put it in, and you start down the road and you get a flat tire, and most people would be like, man, this doesn't work, and you're so upset for that. But change your thing, be grateful. You know what? I'm so glad I had that flat tire because you know what? Maybe I'm supposed to meet somebody today that will, be a relationship.
Hey, Lauren?
Or
Steve, are you hearing that? Go ahead and unmute yourself, Steve.
hello?
Yeah, it's doing Steve, do you hear the auto tune?
Um, I don't know if I'd call it auto tune, but yeah, it's like modulated.
What's that called? Isn't that called auto tune? What's that thing called? The
Well,
T-Pain sound.
auto tune where you take somebody with no talent, like a pop star, and then make them sound like a really good high quality singer. This is like the reverse.
We were you're going through the T-Pain synthesizer right now, Lauren. Can you All right. I think
To speech,
you and T-Pain are like brother and sister right now. The way you...
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what we're listening to.
Yeah. But let's do this. It was great. And then I don't know. I think everybody got home half day from work or school in your territory, and everybody just jumped on the internet. But right now you're doing auto tune. So just wanted to jump in real quick, give it a chance to kind of reset. Do you have? Will you be able to wrap it up, or is it too premature for that?
No, I think I just have one more slide after this. Can you guys hear me, or am I still sounding like Britney Spears?
No. Britney Spears. Did you guys see that AOL? It was trending yesterday. How Britney Spears' real voice was leaked without the auto tune. It was. I haven't heard it yet.
I saw the headline, so that's what. Yeah, exactly. I saw the headline, so that's what made me think about it. But I didn't get around to actually watching it.
All right, your internet's good. So okay, we got one more slide, and then we should be good to go. So good timing.
Okay, perfect. So as far as that one, and I'll keep it short in case that I start to sound like T-Pain again.
Cool.
As far as that, you don't know that there would be the capital conversation. All you know, the direction that you're heading in, something was going to happen that would be, a car accident or something crazy like that. And so it's preventing you from going to that. So really looking, you can't see what the whole picture is. So be grateful for everything that comes into your existence, whether it looks like something super awesome and positive right now or a big challenge. If you're expressing that gratitude and guess what? It is going to be turning into positive. So just keeping that in mind and really emphasizing the gratitude aspect of things, even the things that seem negative for, put a different frame of reference around it and get to that happy place. And then, for me, my why, that's exactly that, those 3 kids. And, for me, it's just being able to fully express it and take them. I took them to Yosemite and it was awesome. And just being able to express that, and not, for me, the money part is cool, but it's more for that feelings that I'll get of being able to live in abundance and being able to not have to worry about, the financial part of things, and just being able to, hey, I want to show my kids these awesome, amazing things and take them places, and not having to worry about the money. And then the other side of things is the time freedom that comes with success. And if you're building it right and not building yourself a job, but building a business, and you have time freedom to be able to do that. Because what good is money if you don't have the time to enjoy it? So being able to be aware of both of those, and although, I don't need, tons and tons of money to be happy, but using the money to live life and just live in a state of abundance and happiness and raise my kids in that. And that's my why for all of this stuff, and keeping that bigger picture in mind. And, find your why, find your passion, focus on it, and just live, love, and express, and you'll just be completely astonished at where you are transforming, and you'll look back and not even recognize yourself.